Dear listeners, feel the real fear with us. The horror stories from all over the country and abroad. Those who have been, are being, or will be involved in today's episode. Greeting and love to everyone. I hope everyone is well and healthy. Like every episode, I am with you all to present the event you send. Greeting and thanks for joining us for this paranormal pit stop. Tonight we'll be adventuring across a famous and popular 15-course fatally owned Iceland experience, acting as a pencil of the Manhattan growth of New York City and Newark. The State of Liberty sits in Upper Newark by close to Jersey City, New Jersey. It holds both a state and a museum. Some say the Iceland is haunted by supernatural unconscious occurrences. Would you like to dive into the history and ghost stories surrounding Liberty Island, which has been around even before Europeans arrived? The areas near what is now Liberty Island in Newark Bay were originally home to the Nepal people. Then used to collect oyster, which they found in the layers number on the ideal facts in the area. After Europeans started settling it in the 16th, their nearby Iceland were called the Oyster Islands because of the many oyster hairs. In 1664, a man named Captain Riverham was given what would later become Liberty Island by the English governor. Then on December 23, 1667, he issued the land to Ice Bidlew, who renamed it Bisland Island. He Bidlow family won the island until 1732, when it was sold to Newark merchant Henry Lane and Philippines for only 5 shillings. During the time Philip and Lane won the name Ice, the city of the Newark took control for it well and used to. It was a quarantine area for smallpox patient. In 1746, Candlely bought the island, turned it into a summer home and also built a lighthouse on it. In 1756, kindly allowed the area to be used as a quarantine for people with smallpox. Then on February 18, 1758, the city of Newark bought the island to use a hospital for people with contagious disease. This happened before the American Revolution. During British control of Newark Harbor, a camp was set up a small island to house loyalist refugees. However, on April 2, 1776, a colonial soldiers burned the camp on the ground. Later in 1800, Newark gave the island to the federal government to build Fort Wood. Construction of the fort took place between 1806 and 1811 to prepare for the War of 1812. By the time the Iceland was chosen, the place of State of the Liberty in the 800s, Fort Wood, which was once used for benefit, was no longer needed for that purpose. However, stone walls were used to the base for the State of Liberty that we know today. The state itself was a gift for the people for funds to celebrate 100 years of American independence. It was designed by Harduck S. Frederick Gustav Bartholdi in 1884 and was brought to America, where it only officially dedicated in 1886. In 1956, a long small island was officially named Liberty Island by the discussion of Congress, and in 1984 the State of Liberty thought renovation and repairs to get ready for this 100th birthday celebration. In 1986, the original task for the state was replaced with the current, which is covered in 24 karat gold. Later that year, the site was opened just in time for a 4th of July weekend celebration. In 2016, or began a new modern museum to better handle the large number of visitors to the island. The museum officially opened in 2019, showcasing various exhibits including the original task for the State of Liberty. Liberty Island still open today and can be researched by the Board of Ferry, the Battery Park in Liberty Island State Park in Jersey City. If you want to go up the pedestal of the State of Liberty, you need to extra tricky. And if you want to claim all of way to up the ground of the Lady Liberty, you have get the special permit since there are limited spot available. Over the years, Liberty Island has been the center of many interesting local stories and spooky ghost tales. One of the most well-known stories is about Captain William Kidd, who is said to have buried a hidden treasure there. Kidd lived in the Pearl State in New York for about 4 years, in a spot where she could easily watch the island. The story adds to the legend that a hidden terrors in the guardian by the supernatural beings. It's heaven been recorded that Sergeant Gillips and Private Carpenter, who they are stationed for Fort Wood, went looking for hidden treasure. Then even tried the physical to help them to find the extra location of the load. However, then the beat the spot, they find a human skull along with the treasure chest. After they dug it up, some people believe a demonic being appeared from the hole. Someday it was the English clip of Kidd, the person who had hidden the treasure. It says that Carpenter ran for his life. While Gibbs just stood there turning, then his ghostly creature threw Gibbs into the harbor. When two men finally pulled themselves together and went to back for the test, the creature was gone. They find that their hell is completely empty. For over a century, Liberty Island was used to a place for public hanging, where many pirates and criminals meet their end. On which the person, criminal Wallace, such sailor Wallace, along with his crew, kind captain and the officer of his ship, then murdered other male passengers, and there are the women overboard. Another notorious giver, Albert Hicks, who in 1816 became the last person be publicly executed in New York City. Hickson killed everyone on his ship, including the crew. 1816 marked New York City last public execution. Hicks would kill this entire crew and made off their vessel and goods would be graded by the crew of more than 12,000 for this final drop at the gallows and of the dead across Liberty Island. Some have described interest with a malevolent force thought to be dead on this, that this one of these infinitely crewmen all over this worn-out place of land. People have seen objects moving the themselves, doors open and close their own, the arm go of the horizon. Many lives were lost on Liberty Island during quarantine period, and when it was used to as a place keep people who were sick. For many people, this was the only part of America they would ever see. Both visitors and officials have reported seeing ghostly figures wearing old-fashioned clothes after dark. Many of those figures look weak or sick, and most of them vanish and someone tries to get close. Several informal investigations at the State of Liberty have found high levels of electromagnetic field, even temperature, and strange lights or in photos. People have also seen peeping, shadowy figures. Many visitors say they feel like they are always being watched, followed, or even touched by something they can't see. After the State of Liberty was put in place, many sailors passing the said they heard stand, eerie groom and mans coming from inside the state. Although people eventually expect noise at just the structure sitting. Local stories claim that the sound are actually the piece of many souls trapped on the island, clipping for help. A few watchmen and workers over the years have strongly refused to say that they are not share the dark. Some strange ghostly lights have been seen and even photographed around the massive statue. People have also reported seeing the place of looking around the people have also reported seeing place focus looking out from inside the crew at time when the interior should have been closed and look for the night. If you have had any such a miraculous and scary incident, you can send it to thehorrorstories@yahoo.com and we will try to read the story in the next episode.